and some of these red targets. I'm telling you, the ability to Zealous Conscript, untap your birthing pod, like Zealous Conscript, steal your birthing pod, sack my conscript, get Inferno Titan, or the ability to Zealous Conscript your guy, then sack it to my own birthing pod. Like, that's huge. Absolutely. Plus, I mean, Huntmaster is going to be real tough for a deck that has no answers to it. And just lots of guys.
One of the things about these red builds is that when you're talking about a opponent that has a ton of elves, if you just chop the heads off of a few elves, sometimes the deck just falls apart.
A timely Arc Trail or Bonfire can definitely do that.
Yeah, I mean, there is a reason that when Dan Paskins kind of started the kill an elf contest with red deck wins, that it was about killing elves. That was such a critical part for the green decks, is having an elf deck be or having an elf card of whatever kind, whether it's a bird, whether it's a Llanowar elf, having that card be alive was really crucial for the decks that play those cards.
I like the Consecrated Sphinx out of Kai's sideboard. Consecrated Sphinx has traditionally been one of the most powerful weapons against these pod decks.
It's also really powerful against aggressive decks. If you survive to the point where you put a Sphinx in play, unless they kill you on the next turn, the game tends to just be done.
And plus he can actually top out with Elish Norn, an end game that Travis can't get quite as big as. But actually Travis can after sideboarding. Travis has Elish Norn on the board as well. Travis sideboard, a sideboard Gabriel Nassif would love. 15 one-ups.
I think in playing with Nassif a little bit, one of the spaces where I feel like his genius really shines is creative use of sideboarding in matchups where you don't think a card necessarily fits. He'll bring it in and you'll be amazed at what happens with it.
Yep, definitely no stranger to thinking outside the box, but not one of those people who just does it slavishly.
Yeah, I mean, he's just such a brilliant player.
He's very handsome, too. Hi, Gab, if you're listening. We love you.
Say hey to Liz for us.
So we just got an update. It sounds like over in the...
Esper mid-range versus Blue-White Delver, Alexander Neufeld picked up a game to go 1-1. Now we're going to game 3 there. And it looks like Kai Burnett has disappeared. Apparently Travis Harrison using magical powers on the other side of the table, getting rid of everyone over there. Now, when it comes down to 2 games, I'm going to just pretend for the sake of argument. Let's say that for the sake of argument that Kai Burnett, not pictured currently, let's pretend for the sake of argument that Kai has a matchup advantage against Nyapod. Being down a game, even if he had one, he would need to do really well to be able to get these next 2 games.
I actually, from looking at these lists, I think Travis has the edge on deck.
Oh yeah, I'm not making a claim about.
Oh,
who
for
has
sure,
one.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Just the observation of being down a game
So
is
huge.
a big disadvantage, without question.
I mean, that's not to say that there haven't been countless times where someone has come back from a 0x disadvantage to win. And Carl Dillahay wins game 2 versus William Nielsen. This means that Talrand v Restoration Angel, we're going to have to find out what happens in game 3.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dude, where'd the Battle of the Wits at?
You know, I don't know if there was a single Battle of the Wits in the room.
Dude, I got a prize for the first person who wins an SCG Open with Battle of the Wits.
What's the prize?
I'm not going to tell you, but it'll be sweet.
Wait a second. Are you going to have them, you and some awesome other rapper, do a rap battle for them?
No.
Okay. Damn it.
But the prize will be sweet. It'll be worth it.
Okay.
I mean, considering it'll cost you nothing.
SCG Open
But I wouldn't
listeners?
buy a plane ticket to
Yeah.
fly across the country and invest everything into a Battle of the Wits just on the chance of doing it. I don't know if it's that big of a prize, but it'll be better than a sharp stick in the eye. You can quote me on
Yep. SCG Open listeners, you've been put on notice. Make a Battle of the Wits deck, win with it, get prizes from Patrick Chapin.
that. Just one prize.
Get prize
Yep.
from Patrick Chapin.
But it's sweet.
Kai Burnett here.
He has returned,
Yes.
and
For a new game at the Karn feature table.
Karn, the second biggest of the Planeswalkers.
Nicole. You know, I still am really hoping that there will be time to make a deck with Nicole Bolas and Karn and have it be good. I would love to do that.
Dude, like if you play some kind of a 4-color ramp deck with Nico Bolas, you could use Karn too. Nico Bolas and Karn in a Primeval Titan deck. Dude, that's some serious business. If you play like Farseek and Rampant Growth and all that jazz, so that on turn 3 you could actually play the double Search for Forest, and then next turn give him the business.
Bird of
Turn
Paradise.
1, Razorverge Thicket, Birds of Paradise out of Kai. Exactly what he wants to be doing. Travis starts off with a Copperline Gorge and an Avacyn's Pilgrim.
Practically the same draw.
Yep. Both players doing exactly what they want to be doing.
Now, we talked about Travis's access to all of these burn spells.
Yeah.
And I would say Kai in the sideboard, it looks like he's leaning on Elesh Norn and Consecrated Sphinx for his response.
Yep. Stinger Fling Spider is still another potent tool, but not super backbreaking, just a reasonable option.
I keep wanting to see a Silklash Spider hit play,
Yes.
and I have not seen one in a sideboard yet, so...
Kai trying to not get blown out by a Bonfire and Arc Trail.
This is one of the difficult things in playing against this deck. You want to just put all of your mana creatures on the table to do something insane, but you also don't want to, just in case things go really awry for you.
How much can you actually play around? Is the question.
I mean,
there's Birthing Pod.
There we go. It's a good start
No
for...
worries for Arc Trail there.
Let's see if Travis has a suitable response.
Like Manic Vandal?
Manic Vandal, a pod of his own. Bonfire for one.
Definitely a reasonable play. Slow Kai down a little bit. Kai drops to 17.
No creatures on the table.
Yep. If Kai doesn't have a 1 or a 2 drop, he's going to miss a turn of potting.
I think he drew a land there. Borderland Ranger, no ability to pod.
No podding yet.
And
Travis looking a little flooded.
Yeah, I think I see 2 land, Huntmaster, and I can't tell what that last card is. That Crashing Vines?
Crushing Vines? Yeah.
No, it's not Crushing Vines, because there's two of them, so...
Looks sort of like Strangler-Geist, but... No, he doesn't have 2 Strangler-Geist, though. Huh.
Yeah.
Might be one of them there alternate art cards.
Right, or altered art, either way. I'm pretty bad at the alternate art cards. I never really went towards looking for those particular kinds of cards, so... Visually, if you see them and you know them, let me know, because out there in the Twitterverse, you as well. For those of you who are just joining us, I'm Adrian Sullivan here.
Patrick Chippen.
And we are here in the first round of the top 8. We've already shown you one match, a complete devastation with Elves beating White Green Aggro. And now we have another match we've gotten to the camera here. Travis Harrison trying to win this 2-0 with Nyapod versus Kai Burnett with Bantpod.
And there's the Arc Trail. Continuing to keep Kai off of Birthing Pod as long as he can. Travis definitely needs to commit a little bit more business to the table, though. Like, the Pilgrim beats are modest at best.
On Twitter, Aaron Lecluse, apologies if I say your name wrong, is trying to tell you, Patrick, to stop encouraging people to play Battle of Wits. Be nice to the judges.
Now, I believe he said it is just mean to judges, and that's not true. It is not just mean to judges.
It is also other things. Just implies... Okay. And Elvish Visionary.
So finally, we're going to see some hot pod-on-pod action. This reminds me of AJ Soccer's comic collection.
And apparently those are, we can see now, 2 of that forest we were talking about earlier, that John Avon Neil Patrick Harris forests.
And by Neil Patrick Harris, I'm assuming you are being funny with New Phyrexia?
I guess. It might not be funny. Leave it up to you. And anyone else out there.
Sacking the Visionary. What are we looking at here?
Maybe another Borderland Ranger. Could be a Blade Splicer. Blade Splicer seems pretty good.
Just to commit some more business to the table?
Fiend Hunter is a possibility, but that seems premature.
It is the Borderland Ranger. He wants to keep it going.
Mana. Let's not stumble on it.
Travis pretty much needs to get with the getting here, right? Like we need to see either a birthing pod or, I mean, even birthing pod isn't, because it's just going to get destroyed, right?
He needs either a birthing pod or I think an Ancient Grudge / Crushing Vine style card
That's
right now.
That's what he really needs to do, is get that birthing pod off the table.
Yeah.
And
looks like he's got
another land.
4 land in hand, maybe
4 land and a
3 or 4 land. I can't quite tell.
I think it's 4.
And
way to go.
One of the many totally awesome forests.
Tanking, deliberating among his options, cannot leak the information that all he has is this Huntmaster.
Yeah, this is looking pretty poor right now for Travis.
Still got another turn, I think, before it's inevitable, but it is a pretty bad position for Travis. At least the Huntmaster is something. Does Kai have an immediate answer to it? I mean, who knows what casting cost he has in his hand, but what does he have it for?
Stonehorn Dignitary is 1 card at 4.
Very short-term solution.
Well, I'm thinking, though, he has ways to turn that Stonehorn Dignitary with Restoration Angel, with Venser, otherwise, into a quasi-infinite fog.
Yeah, but the Huntmaster alone can still kill through that.
That's true.
Yeah, it seems like he needs to just keep working up the chain. He needs to get to something bigger.
Well,
Solemn
he
is
can start
probably
with
his
Solemn,
value
yeah.
guy. Although it dies to the Huntmaster, right? So maybe he just gets Restoration Angel? Now we'll see, of course. If
I
he's
bet
got
you he
anything
has a
in it.
spell.
Yeah, if he's got any business in his hand at all. If he's got any business with business. Considering he's got like 6 cards in his Golgari here, in his grip.
For those of you who are just joining us, this is the second match of the quarterfinals that we are showing you tonight. Tomorrow we will pick up with the semifinals, and our top 4 competitors, at least one has been decided, and that is Kurt Crane.
With the exciting talk of the tournament, Elf Wave.
Yeah, I would be unsurprised if Kurt goes through this event all the way to the end and emerges our champion.
It's definitely a good week to be playing Elf Wave. This is a good top 8 for him. Are there any Day of Judgments anywhere in this? There's 1 Day of Judgment in the sideboard of Bill Nielsen's deck. One Day of Judgment. It's gonna. There are 3 bonfires, 2+1 bonfire and 2 Arc Trail out of Travis Harrison, so he probably doesn't want to face that.
And that could be his opponent this coming round.
So he's definitely rooting for the Bant Pod. But even still, Elish Norn is a hell of an end game. This player's taking full advantage of the untimed rounds. Kai Burnett drops the Thragtusk. He's going to continue to build his position. Another turn of no potting, though.
Not sure how I feel about that. I mean, maybe if it was his only spell to play.
So what do you think? Travis Harrison draws Birthing Pod, sacks Huntmaster, goes, gets Acidic Slime, destroys Birthing Pod?
Oof.
That'd be a nice little...
Oh, that'd be pretty sick.
Nice little sequence.
You could Green Sun Zenith for 6 here and do something similar. Or just cast Acidic Slime if he has it. Or cast his own Thragtusk. What do we got here? Boom!
Zealous Conscript.
Takes
the Birthing Pod.
I wonder what that Birthing Pod is going to do.
Sacks the Huntmaster.
If he sees it. Goodbye to
the Huntmaster and you get Acidic Slime, right?
That should be what he... There we go. That's it.
This is a nice turn.
That's some sickness.
Be nicer if he had his own Birthing Pod, but at least this stops level 1. This has got to be how it begins, you know.
And there's the
Tough way to do
slime.
it, but at least this is, you know, at least this is makes him not lose on board.
Hey, now look at this table too. Thragtusk sitting on Kai Burnett's side, just completely stymieing Travis's ability to come on in. I mean, he could do it if he wanted and just...
No. This is definitely one of those games where it's like, okay, we're going to hang out. We're going to have to play a long game. I know I'm a huge dog, but I'm going to have to just start grinding.
I'm not advocating that play. I'm just saying. And here it comes.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Here it comes.
Conscript beats?
I'd be happy to take the trade there.
Yeah, if he has another pot in his hand is the thing. Because he might want to just sack the Thragtusk for a 6.
Fair. Or
But
if he has
he's got
a Metamorph in his hand or anything like that.
Yeah.
Or, for that matter, a Restoration Angel.
Yeah.
Or any number of other of his tricks. I mean, his deck does have one Venser and multiple Restoration Angels, multiple images, at least one Metamorph.
Venser too. Yeah, like you said. However,
And I
there's
see a
a
Metamorph
long
in his
way
hand.
to go. That Thragtusk has ensured that this is going to be a long, hard road for Travis.
And untap. Upkeep. No miracle. None in the deck. And...
Kind of seems like a man who's got multiple good options.
yeah. Yeah. It's like, which one of these great plays should I go with first?
Zealous Conscript, Acidic Slime, and Avacyn's Pilgrim plus 5 mana. Not a bad board, but what Kai doesn't know is that Travis is sitting on all land. I think he has an Elvish Visionary at this point, though. I think he has one Elvish Visionary and then a bunch of land.
Looks like Kai has decided on a play. I hope. Boom, Metamorph.
There's that Metamorph.
Which one of these two cards will he copy? Oh, he decides Thragtusk.
Gonna go Thragtusk for a change, huh?
Well, that's a strange one. Well, I suppose if that's what you like, if you're into that kind of thing.
And he is.
I'm still mystified by Thragtusk. I mean, it's that whole when it leaves play. It doesn't care how it leaves play.
Dude,
Just
it's
as
a
like,
good card.
it just took a little trip.
It's a really good card. Snapcaster Mage was the one from Innistrad. Huntmaster was the one from Dark Ascension. And then Restoration Angel is the one from Avacyn Restored.
I don't know. What about Craterhoof Behemoth?
And then Thragtusk from M13. Somebody's got to be the powerhouse.
And we have the attack here.
All right, now Travis is ready to draw a Birthing Pod. Come on, baby. Birthing Pod. Here we go. Or a land, you know, whatever.
Another one. Visionary.
Yep. Here's that Visionary he's been sitting on.
Boom. Pod?
Is that the Birthing Pod I've been looking for?
It doesn't look like it.
Let me do a little calculating here.
Yet another
All right, let me go ahead and play a
of the
land.
many forests.
I probably don't have any more.
Is it there? Is it there
That's a
finally?
Blade Splicer.
Blade Splicer. That's not fun.
At least it holds off the Thragtusk party.
And now let's hurry
Game
up
was
and
definitely
sit.
yeah, this game was definitely at risk of ending too fast. So we've definitely been able to slow it down a little bit.
And says go.
It's Kai's turn to hope to draw a Birthing Pod. Come on. What do you got?
Will Kai do yet another play just to completely continue just keeping this game totally suppressed for Travis Harrison? Slime, that seems premature.
Just wants to destroy the first striking golem and keep the pressure on with his Thragtusks.
Is it really that game right now?
I mean, the burden of proof is on Travis to do something. If Travis doesn't draw something, this is a very very good game for Kai.
And we go, throw these two away, kill your guys. You get some regular old beasts back.
a short-term solution to be sure.
Travis is like, just use these, man. Just use these. I got them right here.
All right. Travis' turn to hope that he draws a birthing pod. Although I think he'd settle for a card that costs 5 or more.
I think you'd bonfire. Rah. Nope, not a bonfire. Looking to cast.
Probably didn't just draw that Avacyn's Pilgrim this turn.
I think he's gonna try to build up for a hard cast bonfire. Daybreak. Oh, never mind. Daybreak Ranger. No cards in hand. Empty-handed.
This is what I got. At least it's something. Daybreak Ranger's a real card.
That is a real card.
I just asked Brian Kibler.
And Kai.
Continuing the game of hope I draw something that costs 5 or more or a birthing pod, as we both are just kind of hanging out.
Kai can cast every spell in his deck at this point. That includes his Frost Titan. That includes Elesh Norn in the board if he were to draw it. And in comes the team.
Continuing to give the business.
What does that do?
Let me see. You want to block with that Daybreak, right? It'll be interesting to see, because if Kai is just flooded out, if Kai has nothing but land, that Daybreak is going to flip and start wrecking shop. Only 2 creatures to a fight. Triple blocks a token. Travis quickly running out of guys, but still at a spot where he's got somebody good to sacrifice to the pod, should he draw it.
Is that a goat?
Huh.
Oh, okay. They're just replacing the token. I was like, wow, I saw him point. And we got a Fiend Hunter.
Fiend Hunter, the Daybreak Ranger. All right. Enough joking around. Time for Travis to pull out the big guns here.
Draw a bonfire off the top. Yeah, why not put them all out there?
These are my chips. This is the table. Let's do this.
Just in case the bonfire comes, it's all good.
Travis, let's draw.
Is
Land.
that a township?
I think it is a township, which is better than a sharp stick in the eye, but not by much.
He's not messing around. Main phase, or I should say, Kai Burnett's upkeep or untap. He does it. Can't be untap. Upkeep. There we go.
So we're down to the point where Travis has 1 turn to draw something good. It's not really like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he'll still have the Blade Splicer. Does a birthing pod even do it anymore? I mean, I guess he'll get a Huntmaster. Maybe a birthing pod buys him a turn. At this point, what he needs is Inferno Titan or Thragtusk. Bonfire 2. This is starting to get a little hairy here.
Doing the math. Does it kill you? Well, if you don't block. Actually, if you don't block, does he survive? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He survives this. He doesn't have to block.
But he is blocking Acidic Slime. Seems like you might...
There might be a township on Kai's side that we can't quite see. Nope. Guess not.
Huh.
Oh, boy.
Well... Huh. That certainly makes it tough. Does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Yeah, so a Frost... He could metamorph the Frost Titan. No. Well, yeah, the 2 life puts him at 3, and then he could block the beast and tap down the... Yeah, Metamorph could still do it.
That looks like conscripts.
Is it conscript? It's not going to work. He doesn't have the mana anyway.
To the next.
On to game 3.
All over but the crying.
And
there we go. Whew.
So we go to game 3. Travis Harrison with Nyapod versus Kai Burnett with Bantpod. A chess match between these two, as they have access to so many different tools. We got the, I mean, it's like the old Fairies matchups. You know how like some games you have Bitter Blossom and they don't? Some games they have Bitter Blossom and you don't. Some games you both have it, and sometimes neither of you has it. Same way with Birthing Pod. What do you like about, or what do you think about the chances of game 3?
Well, I mean, one of the things that gets to happen is Travis gets to go back to the play, which means essentially he can actually have some board presence before he starts trying to destroy the other side of the table. And unfortunately for Travis this last game, he flooded out pretty heavy. And we just see Kai Burnett there posing for the camera, making some muscles, and doing a number of other things here for us. And
definitely one to please the crowd.
That's right. And we've got another report from the front lines. It looks like Carl wins. Carl Dillahay with the Talrand Blue Delver list beats the Blue-White Delver list 2-1. So Carl Dillahay now in our top 4. And thanks to Ruben Bressler for that handoff of information. Now, these players are allowed to look at each other's deck lists. In fact, one of the things we do in this top 8, unlike the rest of the event, the deck lists are made available to the players so that they have the opportunity to really basically not be disadvantaged because one or the other one of them has scouted friends or has access to a smartphone and things like that, and the other one might not. This helps make it so that it's fair in some ways, so that it's okay for us to publish these lists as soon as we can to you, and not have one player at a disadvantage for that. Also, it looks like Alex Neufeld wins with Esper 2-1 now. So our top 4, it's Carl Dillahay, it's Alex Neufeld, it's Kurt Crane, and the winner of this match.
I like Travis's chances. On the play, he's got that direct damage, more ways to kill a Birthing Pod, as well as Conscript Inferno Titan for some nice dimensions. But I think it's going to be close, and it could go either way. Should be a good game. Hopefully we get a couple of good draws out of each deck, and we see what they're both capable of. Of course, I'm hoping the Battle of Wits deck wins.
Yeah, we'd have to have a lot of stuff happen. That would be pretty crazy for a Battle of Wits deck to win this one.
So we get the Sheriff over here, get some DQs.
Where are you, Sheriff? Are you out there drinking a glass of wine, watching from home? And this is the final game that we'll be covering.
Final game of the day.
There are no ways I can see to get a draw. So this is the final game of the day before we wrap it up and go on to replay this awesome day of Magic and start again tomorrow morning.
Fiend Hunter? No, the Restoration Angel thing is optional. You can eventually make it stop.
Yep, gotta name a number. What if there was a Fiend
Sun
Hunter?
Titan, by the way. That's our 5th Titan.
There we
We've
go.
seen Consecrated Sphinx, Wormcoil Engine, all 5 Titans.
What if there was a Fiend Hunter, Metamorph? Those are Maze, though. You could stop.
Yeah.
Okay. Darn it. We can't get the LSV O-ring.
Dude, we need the can't stop, won't stop. Rockefeller records. Get down. No. I think this is it.
I've got a question for you that
Yeah, I've
is
got an
kind of
answer.
old school.
Yeah.
Where was Hammer from? Was he from the
East
New England
Coast.
area?
Yeah, New England.
Man, it would have been cool to see him show up. I was thinking about it because of Kai Burnett's flexing here. It would have been awesome to see...
Show up in Buffalo?
Yeah, Hammer Renier show up and be like, okay, let's throw down an arm wrestle, buddy.
Sure. Now keep in mind, I think Hammer's 50.
I would still put some money on Hammer.
No, Hammer's a cool dude. Haven't seen him in a while. It'd be nice if he showed back up again. I wonder what he's up to these days.
I can't remember the last time I saw him. It's been so long. A lot of people you can remember, you know, you're like, oh yeah, I saw him 4 years ago at this event. I saw him here at this place. You know, I saw him on the street buying a sub.
I played with his deck in the Pro Tour 1 championship for I Came to Game. I don't know if you played that deck recently. It is, it's not my pick of the PT1 decks.
What did he play at PT1?
Blue-white control with not a lot of land, but 4 Spell Blast, 4 Power Sink, 4 Counterspell, and
That man wanted to counter some spells.
yeah, and it was a fun challenge in all the games where you're not land taxing.
That was in the land of 4 strip mines, right?
Yeah. Yep, and 4 Necrobounces.
That's magic. Okay. And finally, we have our players here looking at their hands. Travis Harrison will be the first one to choose whether to keep or not. And looks like they're both ready to go. And Travis lays down the first card. Back to Kai. Kai also, I think it's land, go, land, go.
So both players coming out a little bit slowly.
Okay,
Oh, we do have an
there's
Anarchy's
there's
Pilgrim.
a pilgrim out there. Could not quite see from that angle before, and now we've got it.
This is a questionable opening from Travis.
Ollie and Tronzi lets us know that there will be a handful of Battle of Wits decks at the Star City Games in DC, and we can have a battle for who has the best battle.
Let me know who takes first place in an SCG Open. That's what I want to know.
Birthing Pod from Kai Burnett. Travis is really going to want to have an Ancient Grudge here. Knocks the top of the deck.
I think he just wants a land. Well, there's
This-
a land, but it's not a red one. Or is it?
He's metamorphing that Birthing Pod.
All right. That'll play. What did he name? Human?
That would be a reasonable thing to name. I do not know what he named though.
Nice thing about Human is it can cast Huntmaster or Conscript. Or Manic Vandal.
And it is human. And Kai here, Blade Splicer.
Is he going to sack the Blade Splicer for, what does he have to get, F4?
At 4, he could go to Solemn if he wants to develop his mana. He'd go to Phyrexian Metamorph to no real good effect in
He could just
this
copy
table.
his Birthing Pod, right?
Yeah, he
Just
could
to
do
have, you know, backup plan. Because presumably Travis is going to try to kill the Birthing Pod next turn. And sometimes if you can't kill your opponent's Birthing Pod, the best you can hope for is to just copy your own to give you another layer of insurance. Just seems so greedy to get the Solemn here. Like, if anything happens to this Birthing Pod. Now, of course, we don't know what's in Kai's hand, but... Looks like a land that he would be getting from a Solemn.
Yeah.
I mean, all right,
There's
the Solemn,
Jens.
and there's the
and
land.
There's the land. This puts him up to 5 mana now.
So what's Travis looking to rip here? An Elvish Visionary destroys Birthing Pod, right? Like, go get the Manic Vandal. That's his probably his best play. I mean, obviously, you could sack Dahlia too if you're, you know, if that's where you're at.
For those of you who are just joining us, this is the final game of the day. I'm Adrian Sullivan.
I'm Patrick Chapin.
And we are watching Travis Harrison with Nyapod versus Kai Burnett with Bantpod. Both players with a pod in play. Oh, I think I see an Ancient Grudge.
It is Arc Trail.
Oh, Arc Trail?
destroying
Boom.
Solemn and Pilgrim.
Arc Trail works. It's pretty solid. 1 card for Kai Burnett from the death of the Solemn Simulacrum. And a pass. No creatures for Travis.
He's got Conscript in his hand, which is, I mean, something. But he's got to keep Kai off of the ability to sack the Solemn to go get a Civic Slime to destroy the pod, because the first one of these players who loses their pod is going to be Hurting. That isn't a acidic slime on the pod.
Okay, Travis, you need to do some ripping.
See, I'm not sold on even playing out the Metamorph that early. If you're not going to use it, develop your other creatures, then play the Metamorph in a turn where you can use it, probably. But now that we're here,
and wow, and this is going to mean that Kai Burnett is going to be able to go to a 6 with the pod.
Sun Titan,
Frost Titan, Sun Titan.
Yep, dealer's choice.
Consecrated Sphinx. He's got options.
Uh-huh.
I mean, just imagine he goes, gets a Frost Titan,
Just locks
Angel, gets another activation of the Titan.
Keep Travis without any mana. Seems totally reasonable. It's a lot of pressure, too.
And that is a Cavernon human.
Yeah. Hi.
Waiting for a play here from Kai Burnett. Many options. He can tutor every turn, and of course that does mean a lot of things to think about.
Birthing Pod leads to sweet decks. It's fun, but definitely slows things down a little bit because it just gives you so many options.
This is one of the things that makes Legacy such an awesome format. Just a ton of options that are available. And fortunately, Legacy will be what is on display tomorrow.
Yep, my understanding is that we're told it's going to be nothing but land tax versus Grizzlebrand in the finals.
I'm hoping that we see, like we did in Detroit, another Prisonish deck. That would be awesome. Chalice, go, go, go.
Absolutely, because if you don't have at least 37 land, you better be belching.
The Belch match was awesome to watch not that long ago. Oh, man. Is that 2 weeks ago, I think? I'm not 100% sure of that.
A little bit more than that. I think it was a month ago.
Wow, that long ago already? Time sure
flies. Absolutely, dude. It's summer. Summer of Magic.
Boom. Restoration Angel on Acidic Slime. Take that, land.
Is this now where you go get the Frost Titan? Lock it down?
Yeah, that plays a little bit better than my Frosty play. Actually permanently getting rid of the one land and then getting the Frosty.
There's also the getting the Sojourner, right? I mean, getting the
Deadeye Navigator?
Yeah. Probably just get the Frost Titan, though. Get the tempo now. You got the potential to set something up sweet next turn anyway. This is probably going to be all she wrote.
Yep.
It's a good fight by Travis. It is Frost Titan.
There's Frosty. Frosty's going to hold down the cavern. No access to green mana for you.
So what's Travis got to do to have a shot to claw back into this? I mean, obviously it's a long shot, but what is the game plan?
He has to incite Kai into an act of violence, which will get him DQ'd from the event.
No, there's got to be other outs.
Um...
So if he grudges the pod, step one's got to be involving destroying the pod, right?
Okay. Step one, gonna have lots of fun.
Yeah, but you got to do that before you get to step two.
A metamorph on the Frost Titan to hold down the pod.
That's not a bad start. Does he have a second metamorph in his deck?
I do not know.
Does not. Okay. What's the backup plan?
Step two, there's not much he can do.
All right. Huntmaster shooting the Frost Titan. Of course, this is a very short-term solution, seeing as the Frost Titan can just top the Huntmaster. This is not even. Huh. All right, if you're at home, if you see what sequence of cards Travis could do outside of Kai making a horrible blunder, what is tweet it at us and let us know what the out is.
At SCG Live.
How can you deal with this clock and the birthing pod with as little mana as he has? And you have to do it with cards that are actually in his deck.
Oh,
he does
boy.
not play Terminus.
1-drop becomes Phantasmal Image.
Are we going to see a
Double
Frost
Frosty.
Titan?
Yep.
Yeah. Hi.
This is correct. And an attack for 12, which cannot be stopped.
Well, he's not even going to tap the Huntmaster, right? He's just going to tap the mana.
Yeah, he's going to tap the mana.
I mean, not tap the wolf, so that he can, Travis blocks, fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
An attack for, at that point, 6 with the block. Which Travis probably wouldn't. Well, he would have
He'll
to.
block. He might as
block.
well. He
Yeah.
has to, but I mean,
Boom. Making sure the creatures are all arranged perfectly before the attack. Hold on the land. In they come. That's 12 damage. Block the Frosty. Stay Frost and take 8.
so he's got 2 mana.
And a Threat Tusk.
Well,
Oh,
it was
boy.
close until that.
Travis untaps. Not all of it, though. Draws. Extends.
All right,
Reveals.
that's the match.
That is it.
Kai Burnett takes it 2-1 against Travis Harrison. Bant Pod advancing to tomorrow when we will be back. Join us tomorrow. What time?
Wow, bright and early. We are going to start our broadcast tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. local time.
Eastern.
And that is going to be the semifinals, where we've got our semifinals.